All right, let's talk about eyeshadow. It's one of those things that can feel super complicated, and if you've ever struggled to get that perfect seamless blend, you are definitely in the right place. Today, we're going to break it all down into a simple, step-by-step guide that will totally change how you see eyeshadow. We've all been there, right? You've got this amazing idea in your head, but when you actually try to do it, it just looks muddy or kind of patchy. Well, it turns out the secret isn't about buying fancy products. It's all about having the right technique. So let's build a foolproof formula for a perfect blend every single time. So, before we even dream of touching a single color, we have to talk about the canvas, your eyelid. I'm not kidding. This might be the most important part of the whole process. You just can't get a flawless look without a perfectly prepped base. Okay, here are the first two steps, and trust me, they are non-negotiable. First, primer. Think of it like an anchor for your whole look. It makes colors look way more vibrant and literally glues them in place so they don't crease during the day. But that second step, setting the primer, that's the real game changer we need to talk about. Okay, so here's what's actually going on. When a primer is wet, it's tacky. If you try to put a powder eyeshadow on top of that sticky surface, it's going to grab on and refuse to move. That's where you get that blotchy, unblendable patch. But by dusting a little powder over it first, you create this smooth, dry surface. Now your eyeshadows can just glide on and blend out like a dream. Seriously, this one tip will solve like 90% of your blending problems. All right, our canvas is prepped and ready to go, so now we can actually start with the color. Now, the big mistake a lot of people make is going straight in with a dark, dramatic color. Nope. We need to start by laying down what I call a guiding shade. It's like the blueprint for the entire look. And that blueprint is your new best friend, the transition shade. This is just a soft, neutral matte shadow, usually a couple of shades deeper than your actual skin tone. Its whole job is to be a bridge, creating a soft gradient between the dark colors we're going to add later and your skin. It's the key to making everything look seamless and not so harsh. Now, how you physically apply this matters a lot. So first, hold your mirror down, kind of at chin level, and look down into it. This automatically stretches your eyelid skin, giving you a bigger, smoother area to work with. Next, hold your brush way at the back of the handle. This forces you to use a lighter touch, which is everything for blending. And of course, always tap the extra powder off your brush before you put it on your eye. Here is an awesome little mental trick for you. When you're putting that first color in your crease, imagine you're coming at your eye from above, from the north. This downward angle helps the brush bristles fit perfectly into your socket and softly blend the color up. If you come at it from below, you're much more likely to create a harsh line that's a nightmare to blend out. Okay, our transition shade is in place, and now it's time to build some dimension. The secret here is all about being patient and methodical. We're going to build that depth slowly, layer by layer, because that's what makes it look so professional. The main rule here is actually super simple. As the color gets darker, the brush gets smaller. That's it. Why? Well, dark colors are powerful, right? A smaller brush gives you way more control, letting you place that depth exactly where you want it without it getting all over the place. This is all about intentional, controlled layering. And you can see it right here. For that first transition shade, you used a big, fluffy brush, right? To get that soft, diffused wash of color. But for your next shade, the one that's a little bit darker, you're going to switch to a brush that's still fluffy, but definitely smaller and a bit more tapered. This lets you put that color more precisely right into the crease. I want you to think about it like a bullseye. Your first color, the transition shade, is the biggest ring. The second, darker color goes inside that ring, in a smaller area. And your third, even darker shade gets concentrated in an even smaller area, right on the outer corner. You're layering inwards, keeping the deepest colors the most contained. And that bullseye, that smallest, most concentrated area, that's what makeup artists call the outer V. It's this little V shape right on the outer corner of your eye. By packing our darkest shadow right in there and blending it softly, we create all this amazing depth and dimension. It's what makes the eye look so defined and beautiful. Okay, this tip right here is a total game changer, so listen up. Once you've placed that darkest color in the outer V, do not use that same dark shadow to blend the edges. If you do, you're just going to smear the darkness everywhere and make a muddy mess. Instead, grab your previous brush, the one with the slightly lighter mid-tone color on it, and use that to gently buff out the edges of the dark shadow. This keeps the depth exactly where you want it while creating a perfect blend. Okay, phew, the hard part is officially over. We've built the structure.
Now it's time for the fun part, adding the finishing touches that really bring the look to life and tie it all together.
To really make your eyes pop, you'll want to press a pretty shimmer or even a light matte color onto the inner part of your eyelid. A little pop of highlight right under the arch of your brow gives a beautiful lift too. And here's the final secret. Take that very first fluffy brush with a tiny bit of your transition shade and gently sweep it where the shimmer meets the dark matte. This just melts everything together for a truly flawless finish.
And whatever you do not forget the lower lash line. It's what balances the whole look. The technique is basically the same as the top, just in reverse. This time, hold your mirror up and look into it. Then just copy what you did on top. Start with a light wash of your transition color, then use smaller brushes to press the darker shades closer and closer to your lashes, focusing the darkest color on that outer corner.
We have covered so much ground, so let's just boil this all down into a few golden rules that you can remember no matter what look you're trying to create. Think of this as your new toolkit. First, make sure you fully blend each layer before you add the next one. If you ever feel like a color got a little wild, just use a clean brush and some face powder to soften the edge. Make sure you step back from your little mirror once in a while to see the whole picture. And maybe most importantly, just go slow. It is so much easier to add more color than it is to try and take it away. This is all about control, not speed.
And there you have it. You now have the fundamental blueprint for pretty much any eyeshadow look you can imagine, from super soft and natural to bold and dramatic. The rules of prepping, layering light to dark, and blending strategically will always apply. So the only real question left is, what look are you going to create first?